So kids, in class we've been graphing parabolas. So I figured I'd do a little mini lesson on that for you. We see parabolas everywhere around us. Okay, I have a couple pictures here for you. Okay, you got the St. Louis Arch. You got an archway in a building. Okay. All right, it turns out that parabolic arches are actually pretty strong. Okay. You see them in bridges all the time. There's an ancient aqueduct. There is a picture for you as well. Okay, that have parabolic arches. Okay, we see parabolas even in some of the games that you guys play. There's our Angry Birds example. Okay, all right, with a parabola. Okay, so they're out there. So how about if we learn how to graph them ourselves? Okay. So I want you to graph and label. Okay, and the equation is y equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 1. Okay? All right, so let's do some work here. All right. So when an equation's in standard form like this one, to find the vertex point, we're going to need to use negative b over 2a. Remember, the a value is the leading coefficient, the b value is the coefficient of x, the c value is the constant term. So the vertex of this equation will start with negative b over 2a, which will be negative 4, which is positive 4, over 2 times 2. So our vertex comes out to be 4 over 4, which is 1. So our vertex has x coordinate of 1. Well, we know that the vertex is a point, so we're going to have to take that 1 and plug it back into the y equation to figure out what y should be. When we do that, when we plug in 1 for x, our y value comes out to be negative 1. Okay, so we have the vertex. That's a very important point. Once you have your vertex, then it's time to make yourself a mini table. Okay? All right, so let's go to a mini table now. That's the mini table music, right? Okay, so we have our mini table. We start our mini table with the vertex at 1, negative 1. Then we're going to take steps away from the vertex using the symmetry of a parabola. Okay, so what I mean is, we're going to go one step to the right of the vertex, which would put us at 0, and then match that up with one step to the left of the vertex, which would put us at 2. If we plug 0 in to the equation, we get a y value of 1. And if you plug 2 into the equation, you also get a y value of 1. Now, if you've chosen your vertex correctly and made your steps correctly using symmetry, you'll notice that those y values always come out to be the same. Then I'm going to take another step to the left away from the vertex, which will put me at negative 1, and another step to the right of the vertex, which puts me at 3. And if I plug those in, I'm going to end up with a y value of 7. Okay? So now I have my vertex and I have my mini table. Okay? Once you have your vertex and your mini table, it's time to move on to the graph. Okay? So, in terms of graphing now, okay, let's plot some points. Okay, so we have the vertex at 0, or at 1, negative 1. At 1, negative 1. So there's our vertex point. Okay, we have a point at 0, 1. Oops, excuse me. Okay, we have a point at 0, 1. We have a point at 2, 1. Okay, we also have a point at negative 1, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 1, 7. And a point at 3, 7. So we have 5 good points for our parabola here. Okay? All right, so the parabola is going to be a U shape. So don't make a V. We want to make a U. So we all know what time it is, right? It's smooth curve time, baby. Draw as smooth a curve as you can. Okay? Again, let's not make any V's, right? Okay? So we make ourselves a nice smooth curve. Now, if we're going to label the parts here, okay, all right, every parabola has a couple of parts that are very important, right? We have the vertex point, which we already found, right? The vertex is the point, 1, -1 in this example. We also have this thing called an axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is a vertical line that's going to go through the origin, okay? A vertical line that goes through the origin, okay? And that vertical line that goes through the origin we call the axis of symmetry. And a vertical line is labeled as x equals, okay? Well, now, I said that it's a vertical line that goes through the origin. I must correct myself. It's a vertical line that goes through the vertex, right? Okay, so the vertical line that would go through this vertex would be x equals 1, okay? All right, so in this process of graphing a parabola, first you must find the vertex using -b/2a. Then, make a mini-table using symmetry. Finally, graph your points and make sure you draw a nice smooth curve. Okay? All right, this has been graphing a parabola.